We take our shirts off and jump on the bed.
Playful secrets.
Don't tell Father.
Today, here's one. Ninepence.
I'm not dead.
What? Nothing. Here's your ninepence.
I'm not dead.
Here. He says he's not dead.
Yes, he is.
I'm not.
He isn't?
Well, he will be soon. He's very ill.
I'm getting better.
No, you're not. You'll be stone dead in a moment.
Oh, I can't take him like that. It's against regulations.
I don't want to go on the car.
Oh, don't be such a baby.
I can't take him.
I feel fine.
Well, do us a favour.
I can't.
Well, can you hang around a couple of minutes? He won't be long.
No, I've got to go to Robinson's. They've lost 9 today.
Well, when's your next run?
Thursday.
You think I'll go for a walk?
You're not fooling anyone, you know. Look, isn't there something you can do?
I feel happy. I feel happy.
Ah, thanks very much.
That's all. See you on Thursday.
Right.
Beat it, or I'll call the Brute Squad.
I'm on the Brute Squad.
You are the Brute Squad.
Tomorrow, Abbott.
Tomorrow.
Welcome, Abbott.
Tomorrow.
Hello, Abbott.
Tomorrow.
Hey, Abbott.
I hate that guy.
So, FIE, the D6 Comedy-Fantasy-Parody role-playing game, is inspired by many movies, books, TV shows, and some of the clips that I showed you were ones that just popped into my mind when making this video. Ones that I enjoy. Of course, I do like some Monty Python, so that's helpful. And so we're going to be taking a look at this game. It's got a really great system to it. It uses D6s, very easy to understand. And let's go ahead and take a look at it. I'll have a link, of course, down in the description if you want to pick it up. It says the RPG that asks, what if Mel Brooks had directed The Lord of the Rings? FIE. And it says it's based on the classic roll a bunch of D6s and be a difficulty number RPG systems you know and love. A FIE adventure typically results in comedy of errors where the characters are out of their league, the villains are out of patience, and their players are likely out of their minds. So, egads, zounds, FIE. And let's go ahead and take a look. So, it's written by Tim Snyder, who's given us some great post-apocalyptic stuff, and he's now delving into the comedy fantasy genre. So, FIE is humorous. It says it used to express disgust or outrage. Example, FIE, you just shot an arrow into my foot. FIE. So kind of an interesting name for a role-playing book, but it works. Table of contents, and we've got a lot of kind of cartoony art here. It's kind of fun. This guy's obviously telling a story about his exploits of killing a dragon. It's got a lot of fun footnotes down here at the bottom, so that's pretty enjoyable, and you'll have a lot of good laughs with it. It is humorous. It is easy to read. It's a role-playing book that's not very long, and you could pretty much read it, I think, in one sitting, and you could start from the very beginning and just read it all the way through. That's how easy of a read it is, and fun of a reading it is. And so we're going to have our D6s. So one of the dice we're going to have here is going to be called the FIE die, okay? And what it needs to be is it needs to be a die like this, where the 6 has got either a symbol or the pips have been crossed out or marked or something like that. It needs to be hopefully a different color, maybe a different size. But this is the Weird Frontiers die that has the 6 as the Weird Frontiers logo, so check out Weird Frontiers, of course. I wrote a bunch of stuff in it, so that's cool. That's going to be your FIE die, all right? And I'll be discussing that when we get to it. It's going to really kind of screw you up a little bit. And hopefully make some whimsical, crazy, kind of wacky things happen in your game. So we're going to make our character. You've got your attributes. You've got stout-hearted, deft, flexibility, inventive, and charming. And it says down here in the footnote, it says you'd rather call them strength, dexterity, intelligence, and charisma. Seems a bit derivative, but sure, go right ahead. And it's going to break down exactly how those are pretty easy. You're going to have 12 points among those 4 attributes to distribute amongst them with a value between 2 and 5. That's how you're going to have pretty much make your character. So you want to roll versus STR to climb a tree. That's a dex roll. Solve for pi. That's going to be an INT roll. Convince a goblin to let them pass without a fight. Hope they have a high charming attribute. So now, for each attribute, the player has a skill they specialize in. They've honed their craft and practiced for years to become better. So for each one of those, you're going to get a skill that they're very good at, and you'll get 3 extra dice when using that skill. Here's some examples here. STR, stout-hearted, skills will be like use handheld weapon or punch hard. Dex skills would be fire ranged weapon or sleight of hand or lock picking. INT skills might be know legend, debate, or repair. And charming skills might be convince, haggle, bluff. So some good examples there of it. So far we're doing okay. If this is a fantasy game, how does magic work? We're getting to that. But we got to cover some other stuff first. So it kind of pushes you to want to try to learn about magic. You've got health points. You've got avoid conflict, which is your AC. And it's going to be really easy to understand combat here when I get down to it. And that's one thing, like I said, this system is really good. It's really easy. It'd be an easy system to show new players how to play this game. It doesn't have a lot of stuff to bog you down. You've got exceptional points. You can use exceptional points to add extra dice to your roll to mitigate damage. A player can spend XP to avoid taking damage. For every point of XP spent, they can shrug off 1 point of damage. That's pretty helpful. And of course, you can use it to improve your character. You can spend 10 XP to permanently increase an attribute score by 1. And when an attribute score ticks up by a point, the accompanying skill also bumps up a point. So that's going to be raised up as well. And this definitely reminds me of D6 Star Wars, which I've played a lot of. So what is best in life? Here's some goals for your character. Maybe glory, good, gold, or god. You've got your equipment, and now we're going to talk about magic spells. Magic spells are exactly the same as skills. So you're going to pick a skill, and they'll be based off their attributes. So you'll have like a stout-hearted spell. You got your dex spells, and it could be something that's kind of like maybe a ranged effect missile weapon, or maybe it enhances your character's movement. So they're going to be based off those attributes, which I think is smart and fun. And it's really free-form magic. You're going to be able to create your own spell as long as you work with it with your DM to understand how it works. Here's a couple of examples here for like STR spells, dex spells, charming spells, things like that. Very helpful. Then you're going to create your merry band of misfits. Why are they all together as an adventuring team? We got to get out of this town. We went to high school together. So you all meet in a tavern. And then it gives you some pre-generated characters, which is really going to help you just kind of see the way that the character sheet is. It's very basic, very easy. So we've got our attributes here. Remember, skills give us +3, so stout-hearted of 5. Fisticuffs is the name of the skill. So +3 is going to be 8. So you're going to roll 8 dice whenever you do fisticuffs as the fighter. And it has an L right here. L means that it's going to do 1 point of damage. You have light, medium, and heavy. So medium will do 2 points of damage, and heavy will do 3 points of damage. So you can see here, smite is going to be a spell, as it says there. It's based off if you're stout-hearted for this cleric, and it's going to do light damage. So it's all very easy. You see the mace does light damage, and the two-handed sword does light damage. And then you track your experience points down below. So some good character sheets and pre-generated characters here: Thief, Magic User, Paladin, and Druid. If you just want to take these and go, just name the character and get going. That's pretty cool. And so it's going to tell you how you hit stuff. It's going to use the difficulty numbers, so that's going to be pretty easy. And the way you're going to do it is if you're attacking someone, they're going to roll their AC. Their AC might be 3 dice. So if they can beat your die roll that you do with your attack roll, they beat it, then you miss them. And if you beat them, then you hit them and do damage to them. Very easy to understand. So you're going to have different target difficulty numbers here: easy, average, hard, and impossible. If you're going to help somebody, you're going to give them an extra die, but you will also share in the consequences of a failed roll. So watch out for that. Again, there's some fun footnotes down at the bottom. And then it's got the FIE die. So how does the FIE die work? And this is going to be for whenever you're trying to do stuff. So let's say I've got 4 dice into something. I roll these dice here, and I'm going to total them up. It may be a success. I beat the target, the difficulty number. I might get less and fail it. But then you've got the FIE die, okay? And so what happens is whenever it lands on the FIE side, you either total up and it succeeds, or you total up and it fails. And so you'll have different things that happen. So you may succeed. Like in this example here, they're trying to jump over a ravine. And it says when you get a FIE success, they land on the other side, but the ground gives way. They now cling to the gulf's edge and scream for help. So you did it, but there's a complication. And then, of course, FIE failure is totally screwed. They don't come close to clearing it and plummet into the river below. When rescued, the party realizes the PC, who was carrying the only map, has lost it in the raging waters. So this is going to be very detrimental to you to not make the total up of the score and to roll the FIE die. You say, well, now I've only got 3 dice. This is taken away. I mean, this would be obviously better, right, if you rolled that. Well, the thing is, you've got the 666 rule, but not in a bad way. Anytime you roll 6 with these dice, so remember, this is not a 6. This is never going to roll this. This is never going to explode. These 6s explode. So if you roll a 6, you're going to roll again. And if it comes up 6 again, you roll it and add it to it again. So that's going to have that kind of exploding mechanism that's going to have that you be able to roll a good bunch of dice. And it's going to help you be able to get past maybe a total of 20, some of the more difficult tasks. And it's going to explain about talking with your fists. If you want to have combat with somebody, again, that's where the AC is going to come into play. But remember, 6s explode, so you're going to have to deal with that too. And then if you're doing with range, you're going to have like point blank is going to be a 5 DN, and near's 10, 15, and 20 for long range. So that's how you do range stuff. And then damage is easy. Here it is right here, that what I talked about before. Light damage is 1 hit point, and it really breaks it down exactly what that might be. Most damage taken will be light. Medium damage is worth 2 hit points. Taking medium damage should be a rare occurrence. I like how it breaks down kind of how much damage that should be and how rare it should be. And then heavy damage should be 3 hit points. This level of injury should only be used for the absolute worst of the worst injuries, shot point blank with a cannon, strapped to a boulder that is then hurled via a ballista into a cliff face, or a dragon breathes fire right into the face of a PC, then swallows them. So that's how that's going to work. And it's going to be the same for items, for spells, whatever the case may be. And then your rules for healing. You're going to be healing pretty good overnight. You'll get 1 hit point overnight, but remember, you don't have that many hit points. So that's going to be pretty helpful. And you've got a lot of cool NPCs that's going to help you create your game. Assassin for hire. You can see it's very easy, these stat blocks. So the humble peasant, they've got 2s pretty much for all stats. Use farm tools. Remember, you get +3, so they've got a 5. They can ride. That's going to be a 5. And remember, they're based off of these attributes. So animal expertise is going to be INT. That's going to be a 5. Offer assistance. That's going to be a 5. They have a AC of 2. That means they roll 2 dice. It's always going to be the FIE die with it. And then you've got hit points of 2. So that's how that works. And it's going to be the same kind of for monsters. Now, the thing about monsters is they don't have skills and attributes and stuff like that. They have what's called power. And so all it is 3. Like this boar has 3 dice. So they're going to roll 3 dice. Anything they're going to do. And then you can see its bite gore is L, so it does 1 point of damage. And they can do a charge, which if they need to try to do a charge and you need dice for it, you're going to roll your 3 dice. So you've got a lot of creatures here, a lot of monsters to throw at your PCs. Very easy, so that works. Going to help you a lot. And then it's got a adventure in the back. And the adventure is fun. It is got some funny stuff to it. It's got a neat bit of kind of turnaround, and something kind of happens at the end that's kind of going to be fun. And that's the thing that I'll be talking about soon, is exactly how funny this game might be. We've got appendix exclamation mark. It's going to break down the different movies, games, books, and television that were inspiring to this game. And then our author's final word and some character sheets. So that's the thing about comedy. And it's where this game, of course, what it does is it's an easy, fun read that'll have you smiling, that doesn't take itself seriously. But at its core, it's a fun system. And that system will be easy for new players. It'll get out of the way, so hopefully you can have some good comedy in your game. Now, the thing about comedy is that it's subjective, and a lot of times it's about timing, and there's nothing really in this game that is going to give you that. And I don't think there's, in any game, it's going to give you something that's going to be just generate comedy. You could have a table in here that has a whole bunch of whimsical, crazy stuff. Hopefully the FIE die is going to create a lot of situations like that for you. And it does tell you kind of just to be whimsical, kind of, think off your feet and just kind of come up with some fun situations to get your characters into, and hopefully that'll generate that comedy. So that's always going to be something that's going to be difficult in a comedy role-playing game. Probably a lot of the most serious games might have moments, again, based off timing and just how it's said or whatever may happen, where you're going to have some good laughter. So the best thing that this game could do is give you a fun system that's going to get out of the way so that you can hopefully have those comedic moments. So there it is, FIE I Say. A very cool system. I like how it's a throwback kind of to D6. Star Wars, which of course I love, and it's easy to see that the more dice you roll, the better you are at something. The FIE die is going to mess it up a little bit, kind of be screwy with you. Exploding 6s is going to be fun, so that's going to be enjoyable. And it's just going to be easy. You're going to be able to have, in essence, a defense roll back. You could play this game solo with this system, so that's very cool too. Anytime you've got something that you can interact with defensively, so you'll be able to do that. It's got a bunch of NPCs and monsters, and yeah, it's a really fun system, obviously. So there it is, FIE I Say. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks a lot.